It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Rio Grande head men's and women's golf coach, Coach Lauren Lee. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college golf?
So for me, I played sports all my life. To give a little bit of a background, I wanted to try anything. I'm from Scotland originally. So from back there, from high school age, all I wanted to do was come out and play college golf myself. The closer I got to graduating from college golf, I was like, shoot, what am I going to do now? I always wanted to coach. I've coached for many years prior to playing. But ultimately the next step for me was to look for what I thought graduate assistant jobs, see which route I could go down. And ultimately that's when I felt super fortunate with obviously being offered the Rio job, that they took a chance on me and I got to go that step ultimately bigger than what I thought I was going to go.
What was your college time like playing for Northwestern Ohio?
So for me, I loved it. I loved every minute of it, the experience. I made friends for life there. I was able to have two great coaches that helped me along the way. A lot of what I have learned today is from them. So honestly, it was one of the best experiences.
How was that feeling like of getting to put on that polo jersey for Northwestern Ohio?
For me, it was great. You know, it was one of those experiences that I'm representing my team, my university, playing alongside my closest friends that I had made there. And, you know, ultimately, you've worked so hard that you've put on a polo shirt that, hey, like, this is time, you know, it's time to sort of show what I've worked for.
What was that like, obviously, coming to the U.S. and playing U.S. golf versus internationally?
It was different. Internationally, golf is very individual. Over here, many sports are team, you know, university is a team. So it was nice to, you know, come from what for me was an individual sport to come and play as part of a team. I'm like, wow, like we can be on that golf course individually, but here we are, all scores count, you know, let's work hard as a team. So I loved the team aspect of it over here.
What were some of the differences, obviously, besides the being on a team?
There's a couple of cultural differences. I mean, not so much for me being from Scotland, we're pretty similar to you guys, but having a team with players from, well, at Northwestern Ohio, we were all around the world. I had players that alongside me and other students from countries that some of I hadn't even heard of, that you have to adapt with each other, you know, language barriers. There's many sort of cultural differences that, I mean, I love. Now I have friends in many different countries.
Of course, during your time, what were some of your accomplishments?
So we were a pretty successful team up there. We won conference 3 years in a row. We went to the national tournament, finishing in the top 10, and the top 20. For me personally, I had conference player of the week. I had champions of character. I was first team all conference. So those were kind of my personal goals. But like I say, as a team, as a whole, we were pretty successful on and off the golf course, I would say.
What was it like coming out of college, getting straight into college coaching?
It was nice. It was honestly really rewarding. I was very fortunate to obviously be offered the job and for them to take a chance on me. And ultimately it has and is looking like it's paying off. Being a younger coach, I can really relate to my players, as well as, you know, I'm fresh out of what they are going through. I have just been there, I've just done it, and I can sort of help guide them to hopefully achieve what I have experienced as well.
How's it been like, obviously, coming out of college, getting straight into becoming a head coach versus obviously having a few years as an assistant coach?
So for me, I was looking at being an assistant and I literally graduated and came straight into the head coaching. So for me, I had played, I have my coaching licenses, things like that. It was rewarding, for people here to take that chance on me, like I say, it was super rewarding and it was a big opportunity, a big step, but I had such great support around me that it was amazing. It was such a good feeling.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've helped build for Ryder?
So here at Rio, honestly, I'm in the stage that I've come in and I've given clear goals of what I want them to, what we're looking at achieving. We do have such great talent on the team right now that I just want them to see that we can take you guys to that next level. We have sort of clear structure to our season. That being said, in season, we focus solely on the golf. And out of season is when we work on our sort of strength and conditioning, work on our swings a little bit more, off the golf course kind of thing. So we definitely have more structure. They have goals of what maybe it's I want to achieve, but obviously it's what they want to achieve as well. And definitely it's very clear and we're working hard together.
What has it been like, obviously, being the head coach and creating the culture and starting the culture?
It's had its challenges. It's been, like I say, it's been great. Some of the challenges, when I first got here, we are similar in age. We are, I am fresh out of that college experience that it's getting them to realize, I know what I'm talking about. I've coached, I've done it, even though I am a young coach, but we can relate more, we can see what we need to achieve and let's go for it. There's no barriers between me and them. We are completely on that drive, on that path, and ultimately our goal is to keep being successful and achieve things.
What has that been like? Obviously, as you said, that you're a young coach and stuff and similar in age, but you still have that respect that I'm your head coach.
It's been good. So for me, I didn't know any of my players that I have currently. I moved 3 hours south. So that is kind of where the respect was great because they realized maybe at first it was a little bit different, but then they realized actually she knows what she's talking about. She has had a successful college career and ultimately surely that's what they want. From the golf side of things, I'd like to think that's what my athletes want is let's be successful, let's enjoy it. And ultimately for me, enjoyment is the biggest thing as well.
Who are some teams that you compete against in your conference?
So we compete actually against many teams. Soon we are going to be competing against my old school, so that's going to be pretty cool to play alongside some of my close friends, and coach alongside my coach that coached me. So that's going to be a good feeling for me. We're in the River States Conference, so the golf side we have 12 men's team and 10 women's teams. So ultimately, those are the teams that I would say we see the most, and those are the ones that we're competing against.
What is that feeling like going to be like when you return back to your alma mater to coach against your old coach?
It's going to be, honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be nice. My team right now, we enjoy it. We enjoy tournaments. We enjoy traveling together. And I know from the experience of being a player there, that's what they enjoy as well. They're great girls. I have great guys and girls on my team here. It's going to be cool to sort of coach alongside my coach. I know she's looking forward to it, but a lot of what I have learned is through her, that it'll be nice to sort of see our ways together.
How's it going to feel like to obviously coach against some of the teams like San Jose State?
It's going to be challenging. I mean, we definitely come up against some top schools. So it'll be nice to sort of compete and see where we can lie and, let's have that rivalry a little bit. So it'll be nice.
Of course, with golf, what is that going to feel like to be able to contend against those big schools like UCLA and Auburn?
Honestly, for me, seeing top schools that we play against in our conference, it's been able to show even my players, this is the level we want to get to, or them, like I think it works both ways. Seeing great golfers compete and ultimately bring everyone up to that level. You can only keep growing and keep learning from people that you're trying to push to be like. So I think it's a great experience, great opportunity, and I think it will pay off in the long run.
What are some of your future plans for the Rio program?
For us, the goals, like I say, we are set. We want to move further up the conference. We ultimately want to head to a national tournament and then compete at a national tournament. We have various different goals for the program itself, practice goals, recruiting goals. I'm looking at recruiting a bigger team for both sides, both men and women, so that we can sort of have that competitive play amongst ourselves. And for me, an athlete that comes into a bigger team, they have people to push for their spot, they can push for further up, and ultimately grow throughout their 4 years.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play college golf?
So the recruitment process for me, I like to reach out to my prospects, speak with them about the university, the golf program, what we're trying to build, what we have right now. If they're a local student, we'll get them down on campus. Obviously, if they're international or a little bit farther out of state, we do various different tours, virtual tours, on campus tours. And then ultimately we want to get them signed and start the process of getting them on campus for when obviously they graduate and it's their time.
How's the recruitment process changed from when you were a player to now as being a head coach?
It's funny, it's kind of similar. It's funny switching my mind to I was in their shoes. So a lot of that I tell them, I want to help you through the recruiting process because I was there 5-6 years ago. I literally was in your exact position. So it is nice to be the one on the other side, asking the questions, looking at scholarships. It's nice to be on that side of things, as well as having obviously been in their position. So like I say, I know exactly what they're going through and I can relate to them better.
As a head coach, what are some of the things that you look at in those potential recruits?
I look at someone ultimately who's willing to work hard for me. I have worked with all different levels of golf, from that beginner stage to like now obviously being in college, you've played for a little bit. So I want someone who's going to come in, work hard, obviously in the classroom because you are a student, as well as on that golf course. A team player, like I say, golf, it can be seen as an individual sport, but you are on a team. So I need you to be able to work as a team. Let's work hard as a team and, grow. And I want them to have the best experience they possibly can. And I hope that is here at Rio.
What does the recruitment process look like on the official visit side for Rio?
So the students, like I say, the ones that are sort of around campus, we would get them down on campus. Most often, I've already spoke with them on the phone about sort of giving them a briefing of the university, how I like to run the golf program, what a year looks like, all that kind of stuff. So then they can either do, like I say, the out of state can do an international, virtual sort of Zoom kind of call, or they can do a campus visit where they come on campus. If we have students that come on campus, they will meet with admissions. They will, of course, tell them all about the school, the degree programs that we have here, the many scholarships they can be offered, as well as financial aid, all that kind of side of things. They would then get a campus tour. And from there, I tend to meet them on that tour. We walk around, they see all, obviously, the campus, as well as, they can ask me any further questions they might have. And then ultimately down the line, we want to get them signed and committed to the university so that, of course, we can start that paperwork and make sure they're eligible for when they arrive.
What does a typical golf tournament look like for Rio?
So a typical tournament for us, for me, it can be pretty busy. I have, like I say, some tournaments we will go with men's team and the
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free